passport, regardless of the validity of the old passport, will not be availed access to travel, as it's important to take up responsibility to acquire the East African passport.
What they did shall stop using the old passport. But when you stop, how long have you taken without using your passport? I have not traveled in the last 1 year, for example. In the last 2 years, I have not traveled. So the passport being valid may not be a big issue. What we mean is that those who will be traveling after 4th April will be using a new passport. So get one and use it to travel. If you are not traveling, it is not a bother. So only those who intend to are the ones who intend to travel, are the ones who need to replace their passports. Secondly, those who have old passports, just know that it will stop being used on 4th April.
The cost and procedure of transitioning from the old machine-readable passport to the e-passport is the same, except for misplaced their former passports, as extra fees and procedures might be fulfilled, as Semenyo explains.
From an old passport to a new one is the same, because you get a new passport. Even though applying afresh is the same cost, because you are getting a new passport. Those who lost, the cost is fortunately a little different. When you lose a passport, police and get a police letter. Secondly, you have to say an affidavit and confirm that you actually lost it, you did not hide authorized person. And then when it comes to paying, they charge you 100,000 fine for losing a document or damaging it. And then you pay the fees for the passport. If you want it express, you also add on the express fee.
Semenyo has gone ahead to sensitize the citizens on how they can acquire passports. Up here, he says it was made quite flexible, close to pick-up points of the passport, a decision that was aimed to reduce congestion of the main offices.
To get a passport, you go on www.immigration.go.ug and apply for a passport. When you apply, they will give you what they call payment registration number. And you get that number. When you go to the bank, for example, you find when it are there, if they punch in that number, and then you pay the money, and they give you a receipt. After you have paid the money, of course, you can any other mechanisms of paying. But after you paid money, you will, of course, URI will send you an email telling you that they have received the money. And then you go back to www.immigration.go.ug and schedule. This appointment tells you the day by date and the hour. Say between 8 and 9. They can give you like 27th.
Semenyo says the new trend has been inspired by excess alteration of the former passport profile by some citizens, as he says the current passport is biometric and impossible for one to attempt alteration of data. Barije Andrew, Smart 24.
Very well, thank you, Andrew, there. And I apologize earlier on the story about going green in partnership with the German government, but surely it is going to be coming up shortly. That story was about the government of Uganda through the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration to Control has issued a statement that 4th April 2022 is a deadline to phase out the old passport. This comes after the interruptions of COVID-19 that had halted down the economy. But effective that, there has to be a change of your passport in case you have not renewed it to electrical one. And now moving on, let us now head into and look at what waste recycling has to do with dealing into business and also controlling and managing the environment. The German government has supported the initiative in partnership with the Youth Go Green. Now, the German Government Uganda Corporation, that is the GAZ, under its Nurtures program has partnered with the Youth Go Green Uganda to empower young people to manage and control waste to make sure the economy fully reopens with joy around the environmental control. This project, dubbed Innovative Engagement for Effective Waste Management, controlling the spread of COVID-19 through the public health promotion. Also, it will run in cities of Gulu and Kampala. Let's have more detailed on this.
The Germany-Uganda Development Corporation and its Natures Program has partnered with the Youth Go Green Uganda to empower young people to manage and control waste as the economy fully reopens. Muhumuza Edu, the team leader Youth Go Green Uganda, says that the project involves capacity building initiatives among the young people focused on best practices for waste disposal that will address issues related to environmental disruptions.
So we want to inform the public, but also the country and the young people, that Youth Go Green has received support from the government of Germany through the GIZ Natures Program, and we will be implementing this project. We have been reading innovative youth engagement for effective and controlling the spread of COVID-19 through public health. You're aware that some of us, we litter plastic, we litter any garbage that we see around, but most importantly, these masks that we wear, the gloves that we use, for instance, in the hospitals, on clinics, and other equipments, medical equipment. And you're aware that some of us, especially the young people and children, those that are even on the streets, a young person, a young kid can easily pick a mask of a person who is being infected with COVID-19. And who knows it, the person wears it and then contracts COVID. And other related things. For instance, bottles in schools. The schools are now, the kids are now back to school, and you're aware that, of course, there is a lot of littering. You can't know who has COVID or who doesn't have COVID. Someone drinks a bottle of water, throws away the bottle.
Is that the project ran in the cities of Gulu and Greater Kampala because they have a higher rate of population, and that the young people who are the top priority in the initiative are at risk.
We strictly picked those two cities because you are aware that the population is very high and the young people are therefore at risk. So this project will be scaled up, of course, given the support that probably we expect to receive after the GIZ funding. We definitely have to scale up the project. I'm happy that the representative of the youth from the northern region is here with us, Honorable Boniface. Honorable, this project is going to be piloted in your region, and we want to request you to take it up as a leader, as a member of parliament representing the young people. This is the opportunity that will also give back to the young people, and I'm sure this is going to be on record that you have been able to lobby such a very important project that will impact their lives. All we request is that you, working with members of parliament, we will request you to support this kind of a program so that we scale it up, we roll it out to other different parts of the country, but also encourage your other members of parliament in other regions to make sure that at least every region in this country must have this project implemented. We are also happy working closely with the Ministry of Water and Environment.
The representative of the Germany-Uganda Development Corporation revealed that urban solid waste needs urgent action because it's one of the pressing issues affecting urban development in Uganda. And it is of this reason that they have partnered with the young to push for waste recycling.
As GIZ Natures, to partner with Youth Go Green, to engage youth in addressing one of the key environment challenges facing Uganda today. Ladies and gentlemen, as you may be aware, urban solid waste is one of the most pressing issues affecting urban development in Uganda that needs urgent action. Rapid urbanization, industrialization, and changing lifestyles, including the containment and management of COVID-19, has led to the generation of huge amounts of waste in urban areas. Considering that the urban population of Uganda is growing at an average rate of 5.2% per year, the magnitude of solid waste generated is increasing and is likely to grow even larger.
Launching the 5th pilot project in Kampala, the executive director of the National Environment Management Authority, Dr. Akankwase Bireirega, challenged the youth to dispose waste responsibly.
No, the youth constitute part of our population. In Uganda, over 77% of our population is below the age of 25. And so there is nobody with the greater stake in the environment and affairs of the country than the youth. And to see the youth take up the mantle to address a challenge before us.
He says that capital city alone generates 1,500 tons of waste daily, but only 40% is collected by the city authority.
500 tons of waste are generated daily.